Immortals winning this. I really can. But at the same point in time, my brain says there's no way that TSM loses this. Because TSM is just too conditioned to lose.
This was the map where Immortals, when they played LG yesterday, this was probably LG's map pick. And LG were able to come back from 12 round on defender side, 10 round in a row versus SSG on defender side on this map. And when I saw that it was, 10-1 or whatnot for Immortals on the attacker side, I was like, they don't have to worry about anything. I think LG could step it up onto the second half. But the thing is, Immortals just did a great job to nullify any type of opposition that they had from LG. Mata at some point, I think only had 2 kills into the game on that map. So they did a great job to hold that. And this round, it seems as though they're expecting this push coming in from the sewers for Immortals, and 2 to drop early for TSM, as only 1 more inside the site. It's going to be Wardell, and that push is coming in for Immortals.
Oh, Wardell getting gunned down as Shanks is the point man for Immortals, leading in as Reyna.
Spike planted.
Immortals looking solid in the pistol as TSM is now down to just 2 players. It's going to be Cutler and the Omen by his side. See if they can make it in. Hazed trying to spot some targets, but it's actually Cutler through the smoke and the edge of the wall to take care of jmoh. So they're going to be moving in closer and closer. Genghsta's around the corner with 1 HP. And they're still taking their time getting into position. They're waiting for this dark cover to fade. Now it starts to, but that makes it all that much more difficult as the recon dart lands and his teammate goes to the wayside. Immortals pick up a massive pistol round win.
So again, Immortals expecting that push coming in from the sewers on pistol versus TSM, something that they often do to try to take the A control quite aggressively on their side on Haven. And then especially going with an agent composition that doesn't have any sentinels, eventually they want to add pressure in the back. So adding that trap wire and also a camera on grass, courtesy of Neptune, definitely allowed Immortals to push into the side very comfortably on that pulse plan. Very difficult to win for TSM, where on this eco here, looking to put pressure back on that long A sign, but really you're counting on Reyna, actually, on the garage. So with that triple duelist, you see Subroza switching over to that Reyna. He's down 24 HP, but it's not too bad. He still has 1 Devour remaining if he's able to get a kill. But you can see how Immortals still playing it passively. They want to let TSM come to them, knowing that they have to press charge on this eco.
Wardell jump peeking currently, trying to get that intel as to where Immortals is moving. The young guns of Immortals slowly working their way up long A. 55 seconds left as they get 3 players right at the tail end of this. And this is a misread coming in from TSM. They start to rotate their forces out of the site at the worst possible time as they now go for the execute. The site is completely empty. It's been vacated. They'll be able to get a free spike plant out of this one. Drone.
Spike
30 HP as he tries to come into the site. Shanks says, no way. Site's closed. In the words of the little girl from Forrest Gump, site's taken. No?
Nope.
You don't know the reference? I'm disappointed. You're a boomer too. She says seat's taken, but she's got a thick southern drawl, so it sounds like she said site's taken. It's a bad joke. I'm old.
We're done. Nonetheless, though, we do have a big paranoia to come through. The attempt as well for TSM. Coming outside the window, that's 3 kills with Classic, so that works out. A 2 versus 1 to go. Neptune to pick up 3 kills of his own. But not until 3 of them fall, so a really good eco in the end for TSM. Hurting that economy, forcing some guns out. Again, we talked about, hey, if you're going to lose against eco, you want to keep at least 2 players or 3 players alive so that the ones with the economy moving into the next could drop for your teammates. And you can see it. The result now is that Neptune is stuck with the Bulldog. The other ones are going for rifles, but they have small shields, where you're now bringing the op out for Wardell on the attacker side and a lot of rifles on their end too for TSM that could make things look a little bit more dangerous now, especially that TSM, they're playing on the defender side to start. Immortals looking to push very aggressively what they have towards this long C sign, and Hazed just goes for that spray through the smoke, connects onto jmoh. The top fragger, as I mentioned before, for Immortals on that previous matchup versus LG, but Shanks is not done. He continues to push in. He gets 2 entries, and that's an open site now for IMM. But the retake attempt, as Wardell is already in position.
Wardell, not even sure where that Al drone was. It was so high it actually escaped the scope on his op, and he gets tagged again as a result, as no one took it out. So 2 darts for Wardell as they're trying to come through from spawn. You can see Drone is set up ready to go for a flash through, playing on the Phoenix. I'll take a dart in his side, and the team's going to start backing off. They realize this one's lost. There's not much that can be done, so TSM will surrender another round away. As Immortals go for a fast take towards C, initially it looked good for TSM as you watched hazed take that long-range duel through the dark cover, pick somebody off, but just wasn't prepared for the push that continued coming in that direction. 3-0 start for Immortals. Again, I kind of said it, and I don't want to pretend I'm riding both sides of this, but I could see a reality where Immortals could 2-0 this. Had to start off strong on this first map, and thus far, 3 rounds in a row, it's looking pretty good. But again, still the early game, and still plenty of time for TSM to turn it around.
And when we're talking about pound for pound, player for player, based on their rules, I think when you're trying to compare Wardell with, you know, I would assume usually with Shanks, if he had the opportunity, he would go for a Jett op 2. But now you're going to compare Wardell face-to-face versus jmoh. I'm going to have to give that to Wardell. But when it comes down to the duelist, though, especially talking about Shanks, that could still be a toss-up. Shanks could still be that player that's going to pop off and make things very difficult for somebody like Subroza, who's currently playing the mirrored Reyna, to pop off on his end. So far, they've done good to hurt his economy, where he cannot help and support, as he's only working with the Sheriff right now. While the rest of TSM, they do have weapons to work with, but they are playing more turtled into the site after you've given him a little bit of map control on the long A side. But with that, Immortals falls back. They're going to pick up the spike. They're going to try to lurk back towards C, where the anchor player, hazed, has to try to come up big again.
Cover going out.
Cutting their vision.
There's the flash coming out. hazed doesn't stand a chance. Tried to either throw down a flash of his own or a smoke, but instead just gets overwhelmed, bombarded by that fast play onto the site. And you've got Empress popped now by Shanks, increasing the fire rate and decreasing the likelihood of a TSM round win. Nice shock dart to the backside of site that allows Wardell to get into a better position with the operator. Smoke starts to fade. It's another pickoff for Wardell. He's going to have to hit a quick scope, doesn't get it. It's now down to Cutler. We called him Clutchler in the pregame. Does he have what it takes here? Nice recon dart and takes down jmoh. He's got time still. 51's HP, though, is going to be his biggest barrier as the clock starts to tick down lower and lower, and now it's lost. Not much can be done. Well played by Genghsta in the end, but it was a great effort from Cutler to try to get back in for the retake.
Yeah, Shark Dart was huge there to get that kill and try to make things even, but you saw it. As soon as on that 2 versus 1, the first one died, I'm pretty sure that was jmoh. You saw Genghsta, he jumped back towards that default box, and it's just ring around the rosy between those boxes and really allow the time to come in favor of the Immortals after that pulse plant to be able to get the round, secure the round in the end. So 4 unanswered rounds for Immortals. He's a little bit caught off guard, as I guess the smoke that he tried to set up before was for a different area across the map, so that kind of left long C open. So that when Shanks ran in with that leer, although it's close range, you were still juggling your abilities for hazed, which, you know, caught him with his pants down, and Immortals got an open sight again.
There.
Now Shanks, look how far these cages are going. They really want to look for the audible cues. I love this. Spamming through the boxes, blaze wall, forcing back drone, and you hear him running through the cages, so you know that the pressure points on sewers and on long A has been given up, and they have to fall back for TSM, which allows now Immortals to push forward. But drone has different ideas. He wants to try to push back, but jmoh answers.
I know exactly where you are.
jmoh, another kill for jmoh, and the hat comes off, giving away the position of Wardell, who's got those knives out, and they know that the C site is basically empty, so they'll be turning things around and running across the map. hazed is going to have to shuffle to get back into position.
To give the cue for Immortals to get into C. As you saw hazed rotate back towards that spawn side. And with those smokes, it's going to be an easy plant. TSM will have to come up huge with these pistols that they purchased. And it starts off with doubling up, tripling up towards the garage and moving in together. I think I like this. You have to leer. I don't know if you saw the paranoia probably left for hazed, where they could maybe explode if they want to. But you see from the way that they're looking at their angles, they want to go for one of those weird entries, exits, or really count on Wardell to try to get Blade Storm kills. But the camera is going to give enough position. They're going to spot it. They're going to smoke it right away.
Stealing sight.
And you just hope to get an upper hand in the end. Big paranoia, but it's protected by teammates. The crossfires are there. The trade in the end, too. but it's going to be jmoh with a 4K. And we have 5-0 for Immortals over TSM.
Now, this is a big round, though. You know, this is a heavily important round. The Ares buy early on from Wardell. Bit of a meme. Switches back to the operator. Now, we aren't going to see an operator on the attacking side, and to be honest, not surprised. Wardell did have a couple of nice quick shots come out from his op not that long ago, but was ultimately left in a scenario that was just too difficult for him, trying to retake that C site. So what do they decide to do here? It looks like they want to get aggressive. So they're actually getting aggressive towards A main. Subroza pops the ult, and that's what allows him to execute jmoh. He goes for the dismiss and sneaks into the corner, goes inside the cyber cage as well. That pulse is going to hit as they spam away. They heard the ping on the cyber cage. So it's a good connection and a good read coming in from Immortals. The aggressive play from TSM stomped out. And Immortals now has to shift their weight elsewhere. jcStani trying to lead the team back to C, but they still had one lingering piece over towards A. It was Neptune, who's been taken out since. He was low on HP and dropped. Now they have to fight with Wardell, who's backside sight. Shanks gonna go down, and just like that, TSM finds their round. I think Immortals got caught off guard by the early aggression.
Well, when you have a run it back and an Empress that came through and you're trying to push, sorry, it's the Hunter's Fury, but countered back by an Empress, pushing up towards that sewers to try to go for those trades, you kind of want that. You like to see it from TSM to get that early aggression and control that area. But as they sort of lost it, they didn't expect Cutler to push up at the same time. So as you control now the 8 pushes, you're pushing it back towards C, where the operator instead, where you see Wardell usually try to opt towards A long for a couple of rounds before, he's now playing towards the C side, which allows for them to walk right into his sight and get these kills. But these are huge right now. The control that you have from Immortals early into long A is beautiful with the recon dart and the cyber cages. So you're forcing always TSM in like obvious spots if they're trying to stay inside the site. Recon owl, now you know they're playing behind default. This is the goal for them to explode in. I like this.
jmoh gets vertical as well. Tailwind into an updraft and just gets vertical over his opponent.
Spike planted.
Easy kill picked up with the Blade Storm. Now hazed has managed to drop Shanks in the meantime. And hazed is still in position, finding kills from heaven. 28 HP, but hazed has gotten 2 to bring things back to a 3-on-3. They still have to contend with jmoh, who's got that Blade Storm active. There's 2 players sitting in hell currently. This paranoia that's getting prepped. We'll see where it goes. It actually goes to the close corner, so they're going to clear that out first. Still got jmoh in position, but it's down to jmoh, and jmoh only. The right click is right on the money. No smokes left, so jmoh just has to fly out. It's knives against Op, and he gets high enough in the sky that Wardell can't connect. No time to go to the sidearm either. jmoh walks away with an operator out of the scenario, and TSM lose another round to Immortals here in this first half. Solid hold from jmoh.
And that kill, that kill that he got on Cutler, he had 2 options right after that. I was going to say the only thing that could have saved him was the updraft on a 1 versus 1. Maybe he knew that as well, but miscounted that a dash was available too as soon as he got the frag onto Cutler. But that was definitely the key ability that put Wardell out of his position, because you saw that the way that he was creeping in, he was about to take that down. So an attempt for TSM that got foiled from just a triple. It was 3 players right inside hell. I don't think they expected that from TSM either. But TSM, for this round, you have hazed playing inside the smoke. They're about to walk up, and they expect that. Shanks is already free-firing before he runs in. They also ping out Wardell. That's going to be an easy kill. Another site easy for the taking, as Cutler off the rotation is trying to play
Spike planted.
towards a different angle, but he gets picked off. So a 5-on-2, spike planted. Drone does have a run it back, but I don't think he's going to pop it for the retake.
Cover going out.
You already have the other one watching the flank on Subroza. They're looking to save their weapons now.
This is not looking so good for TSM. Currently being bested by another 3-letter acronym, the IMT boys. Or not an acronym, it's an abbreviation, I guess. Although, let's think of a good abbreviation or a good acronym for IMT. It's Incredible Man Turrets. Doesn't work.
With
We'll
no
come up with
killjoys.
something better, I promise. TSM they're going to have to come up with something better if they want to come back in this half, as Immortals has bested them on almost all occasions. Consistent side control has been really difficult for TSM. They can't seem to lock down the fringe sites. A and C are the issues. There is no presence towards mid whatsoever. And I feel like if you're Immortals, that's what you have to be careful of now, because now TSM is potentially going to start pushing down mid. I think that's what they need to do. They need their players to start getting aggressive through garage and through mid, because for the most part, we're seeing presence on A and C long every round, but we're not seeing as much towards mid and towards garage.
The thing is right now for Immortals is that they are going to explode based on the abilities of all the agents with the exception of Omen. What I mean by that is you're always going to throw that smoke towards on C. Let's talk about it a little bit, actually, a little bit later. Subroza actually is creeping down. He gets the first kill, but not able to dismiss on time, so he gets immediately traded off by jmoh. Now that they're rotating back towards A, I would not be surprised if you see a dart coming through, and then you also have an owl drone, but it's going to be the Empress and Leers to lead the charge for Immortals to move inside A. Waiting to play a retake as everybody's falling back towards the spawn site. A stinger in the hands of Cutler. Still time to work with.
I'm a little disappointed that we didn't see Drone go up into the window with Subroza peeking towards mid-garage.
Yeah.
Would have been interesting to see how things changed the dynamic on that. jmoh is going to shred apart Wardell. Drone at least finds one on his ult entry into the site with Run It Back. Now that gets taken care of. But the clock is becoming a problem. Hazed has to move in closer. Nice Leer coming through. It allows the peek from jmoh as he's focused more on long than short. And jmoh is going to cap off the 4K. Of course, why not? jmoh's been on a tear the last few rounds as well. Immortals, 8 rounds. jmoh, 14 kills, 5 deaths. And that's with a 9-5 and 9-6 performance coming in from Shanks and Neptune as well.
I was going to say, like, one of these maps where you would see Immortals shine is if you have someone like jmoh able to pop off like he did versus LG. I was going to say no, but jmoh is definitely proving me wrong in this first half so far. But just to get back to what I was trying to say before is they're really running for the executions on A side off recon abilities from the Sova, and if they're trying to go towards C, from Genghsta, and if they're trying to go C, then it's always Shanks opening up with the Leers coming through. So they kind of have to get ready for that kind of stuff. If they hear the abilities trying to be being utilized by Genghsta towards A side, you might have an idea that the hit will eventually come towards A for TSM.
Genghsta has 10 assists, and that's all off that recon dart work. So, I mean, you mentioned it. It's definitely a big part of what they've been able to do thus far. Also, TSM currently at 24 kills. The top 2 performers from Immortals combined have 20. So, kind of illustrates the issue currently, as TSM has to get back into yet another site, losing control of this A site, trying to play for the retakes. The drone will go in first, flying around the corner with another drone just behind him. This one's actually alive, though. Nice big paranoia coming through, and he can't dodge that one. Well placed from Immortals, and this is looking disastrous. There's only one player left standing. It's Subroza. He's on the other side of the play. Might be able to get 1 kill, and I hope he does. Otherwise, it's a flawless round victory for Immortals. Yeah, he gets an easy shot to the back of jcStani's skull. But they know where he's at this point, and there's not much that can be done. Goes for the dart pole. They're going to go for the swing. Dismiss to get away. A dash out from jmoh. I like the move. It's 9 rounds to 1. Immortals look fantastic.
What is going on with the Jetts today? First Baby Bay, now jmoh. These guys are on a different level for these earlier matches. I can't even say it's early anymore, because now we're finally in the afternoon matches where these guys should not have the ability to say, oh, well, it's an early game, we have to wake up early.
It is a Sunday, and if it's the day of the Jets, maybe the New York Jets will finally get their first win. They're facing off against the LA Chargers at 4 o'clock. We'll see if that's going to be the case. Rip to all the Jets fans in chat, sorry. To all 11 of you that exist in the world. 9-1 for TSM. For Immortals, excuse me, over TSM.
Camera taken out.
TSM definitely not looking like the team we expect them to. Nice movement from Neptune to get into that position and just toss out another cyber cage. But again, we're just seeing pressure on either A or C. It's one or the other. There is no mid presence. And I like the fact that they're finally having those reads from TSM. You can see them starting to make their way in. That's why Hazed was able to pick off Neptune. Genghsta's got the ult popped as well. There they go into the site. jcStani back box with the into the shadows.
Spike
Not enough
planted.
charges there from Cutler to cancel the spike plant. The spike will go down. It's a 5-on-4. It's one of the first times in a while we've seen a numbers advantage here for TSM as Wardell tries to fly in with the shotgun out. Nice shots onto shanks. Follow up onto jmoh. Swaps aside to the rifle. And it puts all the pressure on jcStani and Genghsta, but hold on. They somehow make this work. The HP is low, so this is still quite difficult. With Subroza and Drone both coming through. The blaze wall is going to go up.
Wow.
That's a quick flick from Subroza. And a vertical one, to say the least. jcStani can't even go through this blaze wall because his health is so low, he died to the flames. He'll pick off the diffuser, but it doesn't matter. There should be time here for Drone to get it. It's going to be close, but it'll be down to about 1 second on the clock. As TSM pick up a second round.
Last round before the hash.
And as you said, it was rare to see a 5 versus 4 on a retake for TSM, but it's also a nice retake from the judge play from Wardell to make it even easier for the last two guys to get those kills for that combo of Subroza and Drone, just due to the fact that they were actually really far on a rotation. They were playing towards the sewers on a double because Neptune made a lot of noise. He kind of kept them both there for quite a while until he was able to rotate back and move in with his team. So with that, it was a lot of time wasted for rotation for TSM, but it turned out quite well in the end because of Wardell. In this round, it's going to be explosive for Immortals. Despite that leer to come out, the cloud bursts outside of the dark cover, and hazed does not shoot it out, so they just dash into the site, and unfortunately, two of them, both defenders inside the C site fall.
Spike planted.
Yet again, Immortals escalate the pace and get a spike plant out of it. Leave TSM with reduced numbers. TSM are trying to make their way in, but it is not going well. Good God. A flawless round to cap off an impressive first half, 10-2.
Switching sides.
Immortals stomping on TSM currently. 17 kills for jmoh. 12-6 is Shanks just behind him. The top performer on the other side is Subroza, excuse me, sitting at 8-11. That's a pedestrian pace for a player like Subroza.
Even worse, unfortunately, Drone at 2-9, right? And we always talk about Drone of being one of the best Phoenixes in North America. And he's not able to put those numbers up. And it's also due to a lot of these situations where on retakes, they can't really get it done for TSM. The amount of times that they push in as a group, every single time, or most of the times, you see a lot of red on the left side of the kill feed, which means there's no trades that are happening. So is it a lack of information moving into the site, not really setting up for the trades? But on this half, it's going to be Shanks and his company doing the same thing as TSM did on pistols, but they're the ones that come out on top. Pushing down the sewers, getting the first kill, now this time falling back into the site. Even a dark cover to slow down the pace of TSM as they have to recuperate the spike towards spawn. But it's still a 4-on-3. Silver lining is that you have two players, and Genghsta and Shanks, who are very low on HP. So this could still be very doable as they're booking it towards the C side. Thing is though, neptune anchored inside C side, playing off the camera first. And that is gonna be the tell to just hold in.
Wardell, the first one to go in.
remaining.
Neptune is there with the frenzy. And a quick 1-2 punch from the frenzy. Subroza now, all the way in defender spawn, trying to work his way through with that Cypher Ghost. 30 seconds left.
30
the spike is
seconds
down
left.
on long C, so it's a good distance away from him currently. He's trying to spot somebody out. He hears the footsteps. That's the jump peaks coming in. Now, did they get that jump peak in time? I don't think they got it in time, so they didn't get that intel necessarily, but they were still holding the angle regardless. The recon dart's going to give away the position. Subroza's really just looking to do something, make something happen here. But they are making it so incredibly difficult as Shanks swings to find a 3K on the round. The advantage for Immortals grows to 9.
I wonder if that moment...
Hold on.
Because
They have a bigger round differential than any of the players on TSM have in kills. That's crazy.
and I wonder, you saw from that recon dart that was shot towards the ground, as soon as Wardell got pinged out, the cyber cage came up too. So I know for the players that are playing in Immortals, they didn't want to peek out to fight versus Wardell while shanks still got the kill, but I wonder with the time remaining, did you want to try to run out the clock so that no money comes in favor of Subroza, sorry, on that 3 versus 1, so no money gets accumulated by Subroza into the next round? That could have been something very interesting to look into the next time. But this round, it's going to be a quick push towards this B side, trying to get a plant through, and that's just jmoh doing jmoh things. 3 kills, 1 more to go. Cutler is inside that window on a forced buy from TSM. They get 1 and that's it.
Match point.
Well, Immortals ready to close out map number 1 in an impressive fashion, as the buy that comes in from TSM will not look good. 12-2 currently for Immortals. That is not mistyped. The teams are not reversed. TSM struggling here on map number 1 to match the blistering pace that was set for Immortals. I'd love to go back and see when we started this game, because this feels like it's been incredibly fast. Like 10 to 15 minutes, maybe.
I was going to say, you want to start back at the beginning? It's like 5 minutes ago.
it feels like this game literally just started. It's kind of wild.
Yep. Map point now for Immortals. The camera up. And right now they could try to burst out through the dark cover, but jcStani has different plans. After that recon dart comes out, just spam through the smoke because they know the execution's coming, and it's just paying off. Ford already dead. Subroza, not many chances to go on another lurk. That's twice that he's trying to do something for the team with the lurk, but it doesn't pay off. And Immortals, they take the first map 13-2 over TSM.
That was absolutely...